I'm Deepak Chopra. You're watching New Realities.
Tonight's program is made possible by Soul Search, the new online platform for the spiritually awakened conscious community. Click here on the QR code to register.
There are certain books that come through and they just sort of raise the whole community's consciousness. When his first book, Conversations with God, came out, that was like a Bible to me. There was so much wisdom there that took me up to the next level of where I was going. And he hasn't stopped. He is still writing, he is still sharing, he is still putting out the information of the next level of high-level information. And I'm talking about Neale Donald Walsch. Thank you, Neale, for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Deborah and Scott, and the whole team there for inviting me and giving me a chance to share some ideas that I have about all that's been taking place in our world over the past 2 years. Because I think that how we look at these events will have much to do with how we experience our future. The theme of this evening's program is a new beginning, but it could just as easily be called a terrific ending. Because I think that what we have learned over the past 24 months is that it is no longer desirable or workable for us to continue living as we have been. What I mean is the challenges and losses we've encountered since 2020 have brought much of humanity, perhaps a larger percentage of all of us than ever before, to a place of clarity. Clarity that it is time for us to abandon some of our most sacred beliefs. Two that I can think of right off the top. These are beliefs that have been held as foundational by our species, but that events over the past 2 years have taught us no longer support our civilization. They do not help us to create the life that we choose. The two beliefs that we are learning to abandon, first, our belief in separation. And second, our belief in a God who separated us from God and who judges, condemns, and punishes. We've learned in the past 24 months that all the world is one, that we are one with everyone, and that we wish no longer to be controlled by a them versus us mentality. We have learned beyond a shadow of a doubt, as I can see, that this can no longer work for us. We've learned that if we are going to be confronted by a common crisis, to say nothing of a series of common crises, then we are going to have to create common solutions, solutions that work, not only for some of us, but for all of us. Have we gotten there yet? No. But we have learned that this is the direction in which we now wish to go. And I really have a sense, a deep inner feeling that we're seriously on our way. Our belief in a separation theology is what began all of this, in my observation. In the earliest days of the history of our species, we couldn't figure out what was going on. I mean, how it was happening. We had no explanation for the events that we observed. You know, the changing beauty of the night sky, the frightening impact of an earthquake, all of the events, the effects of the world around us. We didn't know how that was happening. All we knew is that we had no control over it. So we concluded that there must be another power, a higher power, a power over which we had no control, that was producing outcomes we could neither predict nor avoid. This wound up creating, as the years went by, a separation theology. The idea that the higher power was somewhere over there, and we're down here, totally separate from it. This led us to create a separation cosmology, because out of our theology, a cosmology emerged, an overall idea that everything is separate from everything else. which produced a separation psychology, a mental construction in which we saw each of us as separate from each other. And this generated a separation sociology, the forming of groups that we came to call nations and races and religions, and all manner of ways in which we organized ourselves, each group declaring and serving its own interests. And finally, all of that wound up producing a separation pathology. Pathological behaviors of self-destruction, evidenced throughout recorded history and showing itself again during these days and times. All of which has brought us our present opportunity, the opportunity that we are now residing in, the opportunity to see the truth of our being, that we are all one. One with each other, one with life, and yes, one with the higher power. My observation is that our understanding of this is reaching new levels in response to the events of 2020, of 2021, and our present year, now over one quarter finished. I see us, as a civilization, slowly but determinedly transforming our mind, body, and spirit individually, and working with more commitment than ever to transform our communities. What is next in this profound social movement? My prediction is it's the letting go of that second sacred belief, the belief in a God who is judging, condemning, and punishing. This is the invitation now before us, and it's important. This is not just a theological, idea or a theological excursion. The situation is that we've been basing our behaviors, group with group, race with race, religion with religion, nation with nation, in the way that our old beliefs have told us that God behaves with us. But now we see that this too is not working, because we have behaved with each other using God's behavior, as we've understood it, as a model. Judgment, condemnation, and punishment has been our blueprint. It has even been the way in the past that we loved each other. We've been living within a I love you if model. Yet now the days we are living through in our present reality are inviting us to create a new definition of life, a new definition of ourselves, and a new definition, yes, of God. What if we decided that God can be defined by two words? Pure love. Now, some people might say, oh, please, Neale, please. We all know that God is love. There's nothing new about that. But I didn't say that God is love. I said that God is pure love. And some of you might say, okay, all right, what's the difference? And today, precisely because of all that has been happening on this planet, we are seeing the difference. We are seeing that pure love needs, expects, requires, and demands nothing in return. Dare we embrace a notion of a higher power such as that? Dare we embrace an idea of our own love for each other in the same way? It's a daring idea for sure. It's what can be called our next collaboration as we seek to create a new earth, a new way of being human. And that's what the past 2 years in my observation, has brought us. The opportunity to make some huge decisions. The opportunity to decide there's another way to be human. And that's what I hope we'll be listening to carefully tonight as well. In the words, the insights, the awareness, the understanding of all the wonderful presenters and speakers that have been gathered by Deborah and Scott and the entire team here to bring us all to a new place of upliftment, a new place of awareness, a new invitation. Things don't have to be the way they have been. But sometimes it takes, dare I use the word a crisis, or something pretty close to a crisis, to stop us in our tracks and cause us to say, okay, time to change directions. So more about what that new direction will be is what you'll be listening to tonight. Listen carefully to the people who will follow. They have huge wisdom and wonderful insights. And by the way, please know that you didn't come here by accident. Your soul brought you here to hear exactly what you're going to hear in the moments just ahead. So I thank you for that dedication, for that commitment, and for that choice and decision to be here. And thank you all for this opportunity to share these moments with you.
Oh, Neale, thank you so much for getting us off to a really wonderful start and for your wisdom. And yeah, learning true love, divine love. I'm a dog lover, and my dog is who teaches me unconditional love. And my best friend wrote a book, Jonathan Robinson, called Conversations with Dog. I'll have to make sure you get a copy of that because, boy, that's how we learn. But thank you for so many years you have been lighting the way for us. And like Deborah said, Conversations with God has been really one of the most profound books for so many, and now the series of books that you've written. I do want to direct people to your website because you've got a lot of offerings here. And so everybody, if you go to his website, it's his full name, Neale Donald Walsch, Neale spelled Neale, Walsch spelled WALSCH.com. Neale, is there anything you want to particularly direct people to that you're doing?
Well, I would simply invite them, thank you for the opportunity. I would simply invite them to take a look to see if it brings something to them that they can find even powerful and useful these days at the latest publication. I've been offering it for free for the reading on my Facebook page over the past several weeks, one excerpt every day, daily, for a number of weeks. And if you want to get your own personal copy, of course, you can always grab one off of any of the online bookstores. The book is called The God Solution, and it offers a solution to the problems that we have been facing over the past 24 months. So that's what I would invite people. I think it's an important work. I think it's an insightful idea. Take a look at it. Again, you can read it for free on my Facebook page.
Thank you.
During these extraordinary times, are you seeking friends and collaborators, like-minded, brilliant, beautiful souls who want to be a part of creating the new earth? Here is the answer. Welcome to Soul Search. Soul Search is the high-frequency global online destination for spirituality and consciousness, where people from around the globe like you come together for spiritual exploration. This is a multi-dimensional community for spiritual seekers, healers, teachers, and guides for the global awakening. With Soul Search, the spiritual seeker can easily search for and connect with healing modalities, spiritual teachings, practices, and practitioners. You can explore high vibrational online and in-person spiritual events across the globe. Within the Soul Search community, you can join groups or take courses for your spiritual journey. With Soul Search, you are part of an inclusive, growing global community for consciousness. For spiritually conscious practitioners, Soul Search connects you to a global audience seeking your services. Build your credibility with a robust profile that demonstrates your expertise and experience. Post client reviews, articles, videos, photos, and audio. You can create secure and private online communities for your groups and clients. Be a part of an awakening community for spirituality where you can collaborate and connect with practitioners and seekers. Whether you are a spiritual seeker, healer, or just curious, join soulsearch.io today. Don't miss out on this opportunity to be part of our high vibrational community for the global awakening. We're excited to be connecting with your soul and radiant light.